Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, collectors of all ages, it is Aussieverse, and we are back, baby. I am Omnibus, joined by the Sharif and Byron Zemo. We are proudly sponsored by Comic Bookaroo, and today we are here to talk about the differences between some omnibuses and compendiums, more specifically Green Lantern and possibly some Teen Titans and whatever else Mr. Zemo wants to talk about. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. There are many different sorts of collected editions. Obviously, you buy your comics first as single issues. They then get released in trade paperback or hardcover. They then get released in deluxe hardcover, maybe even an absolute edition. They then get poured out in an omnibus edition. Sharif, please keep doing the sign language. And if we do keep going, they then start to make compendiums. What is the difference between all of these collected editions? Ladies and gentlemen, let's get down to business. We also want to thank you, all the four lifers, for joining us. Each and every one of you, thank you for making Aussieverse that little bit more fantastic than we already think that we are. If you want to join the four lifers and get some perks, click the link now. Otherwise, the best way to support Aussieverse is by subscribing to the channel, liking the videos, and commenting. So, Byron Zemo, would you first mind telling the audience the difference between an omnibus and a compendium?
So an omnibus is a big collection of issues, a series or an event, and it will be like 40 to 50 issues in a big hardcover book. But a compendium will collect about the same, if not a little bit more, and be in a trade paperback, so standard size.
All right, Sharif, can you please do Byron's job but make it sound more exciting?
All right. So basically, compendiums are a collection of thin trades. They make it into a thick one, probably as thick as a thin Omni. And like Byron said, it could potentially collect as many as an Omni. And Omni is it's oversized hardcover editions. But yeah, in terms of the contents, it could be about the same. But we're talking about the difference in paper quality, the difference in trim size, and basically your preference of whether you want to do soft cover or hardcover. So that's the conundrum that we are in right now. Do we, if we're set in a particular format that we are collecting, what will it take for us to actually switch or sample even?
Yeah.
All right. So let me give you guys an example. For example, Jeff Johns' Green Lantern run, the iconic, fantastic, probably the best Green Lantern run ever in history, was collected in originally 3 different omnibuses. So there were 3 hardcovers that would come out in different standards, and here are the covers for them. So, for example, Jeff Johns' Green Lantern Omnibus Volume 1 collects Green Lantern Rebirth 1 to 6, Green Lantern Core Recharge 1 to 5, Green Lantern 1 to 25, Green Lantern Core 14 to 18, Tales of the Sinestro Corps Superman Prime number 1, Green Lantern Corps Sinestro Special number 1, Green Lantern Secret Files 2005 number 1, and Green Lantern Sinestro Corps Secret Files number 1. Now, that is the first omnibus. In the second omnibus, that does collect the Green Lantern 26 to 52, Blackest Night 0 to 7, DC Universe number 0, Untold Tales of Blackest Night 1 to 2, and Blackest Night Tales of the Sinestro Corps 1 and 2. And then we have the third volume of the Omnibus closing out the series. That has Green Lantern 53 to 60, LaFlea's Christmas Special number 1, Green Lantern the 2011 series 1 to 20, Green Lantern Annual number 1, Green Lantern Corps 58 to 60, and Green Lantern Emerald Warriors 8 to 10. And that is the collected editions that we were used to. It then later came out with the Green Lantern Corps Omnibus by Peter J. Tomasi and Patrick Gleason, which collects all the issues that weren't collected in the first 3 Green Lantern trades, omnibuses. But then they have now released the Green Lantern compendiums. So this is, hang on, this is the compendium volume number 1, and this is the compendium volume number 2. And for those that want to know the difference between each book, well, here you go. You have what, Byron?
You've got the Sinestro Corps War Compendium on the left, which is the second volume. Then you've got GL, Green Lantern by Jeff Johns Omnibus 1 and 2. Green Lantern Corps by Peter J. Tomasi and Patrick Gleason Omnibus Volume 1. And the Green Lantern by Jeff Johns Book 2 to 4. So those are the thick trades that they released.
So, guys, we're all into collected editions. How does this compare? What are you thinking? How are you going to buy them? Are you going to buy any others, or are you going to stick with your omnibuses?
Well, I'm following these compendiums because I think just the fact that like Green Lantern has all of Green Lantern, but only the tie-in issues of GLC to the Sinestro Corps of War. And then then the compendium has all of GL and all of GLC. Instead of having a swap between the GL Omnis and the GLC Omnis. As just one of the examples.
So you're basically saying that the compendium is going to have a better reading order. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, it's collecting everything GL related and having it all in reading order instead of having a swap between multiple books.
Okay.
I think that's the plus point of not having a creator-centric book.
Yeah,
where with creator-centric, you'll if the creator is not on a particular issue, it will not be collected in his or her book.
It will only get collected if it's essential for the event. Like if it's part 1, which is a GL issue, part 2, which is the GLC issue.
So for those that don't really know what it is that we're talking about, let's give a little bit of a visual. So here we have your classic omnibus. Very thick, very big, collecting anywhere between 30 to 50 issues of a run. Then you have a compendium, which is also really, really thick, big goddamn book. But when you compare an omnibus to a compendium, as you can see, the omnibuses are taller. Depending on the run, they can be thicker. And the omnibus is obviously hardcover, while the compendiums are soft. So what does that mean, guys?
Well, I wouldn't say all compendiums are soft covers. There have been especially Kickstarters, that the compendiums came in a hardcover and then released in the book market as soft covers.
Yeah, there have been like the Invincible
Right.
compendiums
So
have been turned into.
yeah. So
Didn't
investment
quite
compendiums.
see that, Sharif.
Right. So Invincible compendiums, they are available in hardcover. I didn't go the softcover route that came out first. I waited, and then fortunately it came out in hardcover. There is also this that came out in a Kickstarter, the Irredeemable, Incorruptible, and Insufferable 3-book set. Kickstarters came out in a hardcover and then released in the book market as a soft cover. So um, there are, like I said, instances where it could be available in hardcover, but in general, you are right. They usually come in as soft cover.
But I
Um,
will also add the difference between hardcover compendiums and omnibuses. The hardcover compendium is still smaller. It's not oversized, and there's no dust jacket.
Yep,
True.
yep. So then, if individually, both of you, if I asked you what is better, an omnibus or a compendium, what would your answers be? Sharif, please go first.
I am more of a completist. So specifically for Green Lantern, um, Green Lantern Jeff Johns especially, there are often issues, whereas the Compendium has a more complete reading order. So the way I would go is I would go with the Compendium. I don't mind going back down to standard size because look, originally it came out standard size. Um, you know, and if you do a comparison between standard and oversized, it's only like about an inch and a half taller and an inch wider. Yeah, you can say it's the art's a little bit bigger, but only by that much, you know. But yeah, so for me, for the Green Lantern collection, I would give up my 3 Omnis, John's Omnis, and go with the upcoming compendiums. Not
Okay.
and on top of the more complete reading order, I'm also, because I'm doing my customs for the run before John's, which is the Calrena, and then uh, and I've got the traits for after Volume 3 of John's with the Venditi run, which is coming out in 2 Omnis. I'm not gonna get those 2 Omnis. Once I get rid of my 3 John's Omnis, I'm gonna have the whole run practically in standard size. So you can stick with your Omnis. They look great on the shelf. But if you want to have a complete read of the run, you may have to rethink your choices.
And
Okay.
yeah,
So to summarize what you've said, then it is for you personally more about the completion of the run, right? So then let me ask you, if they release the compendiums and the omnibuses with the exact same reading order and content, what would your answer be then?
Then I'll go for the bigger art. I'll go for
Okay.
the hardcover Omnis.
Byron, what do you think is better, omnibuses or compendiums?
mm, since this is a subjective, personal, I'm going to go with compendiums.
Why?
You get, yeah, as Sharif said, you get issues that haven't been collected before. Like the first one gets exclusive to Guy Gardner issues that have never been collected before. You also get the reading order, so you're not swapping between 5 different books. which can be a bit of a pain to keep track of. And it's just significantly cheaper. Like, compendiums have just as much content, and they're about $85 here. But our omnibuses have gone up to like $180, $200, $225. And to me, I'm a reader. If I can get a book cheap and then have extra money left over to get more books to read, I'm going to go that route to get as many books as I can get. And that's just me personally.
Okay. So then the argument that I hear with compendiums overall, which I personally haven't experienced, but is the condition of compendiums after a while when you have read them and you have stretched them out
The
so many
spines.
times that this spine does crack and make it unpleasant to the eye. Is that something that you guys have experienced?
Well, I've read this once. This is my Nightwing. So it's a bit hard to you can probably see it from this angle. It isn't, straight. It's a bit curved now. But when you're looking at it from this angle, which is how it looks on the shelf, you just see the title, you see the name, you see the logo. You don't notice the fact that it's not straight. So that's not really a problem for me personally, but yeah.
Do you reckon if you go back to the book more than once and you open it late flat on the table, would the spine crack? Would you have a crease running from top to bottom right in the middle? And if it does, would it bother you?
A line. That would be annoying, but I don't think, I think they make these compendiums so they don't happen. When you think about it, these compendiums have been out for ages. I'm sure people have read them and reread them. How come I haven't seen anyone post their spines with lines on them? I don't think they happen. People are wary of them happening, but I think with how books are made nowadays, I think we've overcome those problems and challenges, and I don't think a book in 2025 is capable of cracking and getting broken lines on it.
We're touching on the build of the book. What was I going to say? Oh, okay. So compendiums, soft covers, they're known to be glute binding. Well, you've got, all of us, we've got books that are glute binding and sewn binding. Between the two, does it bother you that one format has more gutter loss than the other, and that you're going to lose a little bit of art? Does it bother you?
The gutter loss doesn't bother me that much because the gutter loss really isn't that big a deal in general. What annoys me is I want everything in Omnibus. I want everything in hardcover, and I want it all on my shelf, complete runs. But now it seems that DC are forcing me to sell my omnibuses and rebuy them in compendiums if I want the better reading order. And that is very, very annoying.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And I initially, when the compendium format was being pushed out, I had my nose up and said, "Oh, this is an quote unquote inferior format. We've got thick books, but standard sized. But I am slowly being won over. And one of the things that kind of pushed me was when I started buying the Spawn compendiums. because when it first came out, I said, "Oh, we're gonna collect from 1 all the way to 300," because at that point when it was coming out, Spawn 300, we were at that point in time where Spawn 300 was coming out, and then they said, "Oh, we're gonna do 50 issues each. Within six volumes, we're gonna get caught up." I got the first 3. The book's pretty. So, but this all right. So as far as the story goes, that's for another show. But um, I just couldn't see myself holding on to them longer than I did. I eventually sold them off. But then DC and also Marvel have started pushing out these books, and especially DC, man. NGL, it's making me hard. It's making me think really really hard about uh, what a collection would mean. Is it are you just gonna be a faithful one format only, or one format preference? But the thing I see as collectors is that over time we evolve in our tastes and how we collect as well, and it doesn't um, it doesn't help that a publishing company, like you said, Bo, forces you to take up this format, unfortunately.
Yeah, so for me, the only time that I would buy compendiums is as if I really, really want to read it and I don't own it any other way. And a compendium is an affordable way. So it annoys me that I'll have all this Green Lantern in omnibuses, but yet my favorite Green Lantern run, I'm going to have in compendiums. That annoys me.
Yeah. Like for me, it's like I think they're releasing Justice League Dark New 52 in a compendium for $84. And I've heard it's not the greatest, but I'm gonna give it a try on I'm gonna give it a try on DC Infinite, and if I like it, I'm gonna go for it, instead of paying 160 for the Omni, double the price.
I'd be saying it's over 200.
Yeah, that honestly, this is 185 on Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be saving $100.
Is that is it the New 52 or the Rebirth run?
New 52.
Oh, I thought you meant Rebirth. Sorry.
No, I meant New 52. Yeah, that's why I said I heard it's not the greatest. But I will give it a try on DC Infinite. See how it is.
Hey, I'm not a DC guy, and I really liked Justice League Dark New 52.
Yeah.
I thought it was
honestly,
pretty cool.
When I hear negative reception, I think probably a diehard fan. But another example we can talk about the compendiums off point, the New 52 Justice League Dark, it's the exact same contents as the Omnibus. Nothing taken out, but nothing added in.
Yeah.
But one that does add a lot, Teen Titans by Jeff Johns.
Explain.
So this Omnibus, so I can go through the contents of the Omnibus and then talk about the contents in the compendium. So the Omnibus collects issues 1 to 26, 29 to 46, and 50. So it skips 27, 28, and 47 to 49. And then it gets a bunch of one-shots, Beast Boy 1 to 4, Outsiders 24 to 25, Robin 146 to 147, and Annual 1, and a few other one-shots. However, the new compendium, and that's one thick omnibus, the compendiums are being split into 2 thick books, and are collecting 1 to 28, Beast Boy 1 to 4, Outsiders 24 to 25, all the different one-shots, and the return of Donna Troy 1 to 4. So
The Return of
because of
Donna
all-
Troy.
yeah.
Oh wow! I don't care.
All right. Well, it's actually a big deal because it's getting those 2 issues that were missing, and then you can assume Volume 2 will collect the 47, 48, 49, and other stuff that was also excluded from the omnibus.
Yeah.
And
So it
however,
always. Go.
well, I was gonna say, however, because it's 2 compendiums, that's $85 times 2. However, this is also an expensive omnibus, so it will probably still end up being slightly cheaper.
So it almost sounds like to me, DC released their omnibuses, then realized the mistakes they've made, and then re-release them in compendiums the right way.
I mean, in DC's defense, these are all omnibuses that have been out for fucking 5, 6+ years, and compendiums is only just a thing starting a year or 2 ago. I think it's DC taking advantage of this new format and fixing these runs that they've released incomplete. I don't think DC would actively let's release these shit omnibuses and then in 5 years we'll release a compendium that's better, I don't think they had that in mind. But yeah, just definitely take that in mind.
Okay.
However,
yeah.
I was gonna say, however, if you've seen all the Tom Taylor, Nightwing, and Teen Titan stuff, if they release a compendium with all of that in a reading order, then yeah, the DC's being dickheads right now.
I was about to say, considering how much material DC has, there are still a lot of stuff that they couldn't put out in an Omni format just because the original files that they have couldn't be remastered. No, it will take a lot of effort and money to remaster those to an oversize. So if we look at it the other way, they've already got the files for standard size books. We could expect more of non-omnibus runs to come out in thick compendiums. So who knows, in the future our shops are going to be so flooded with compendiums, but aren't we glad that we're going to have whole runs of of a of any series? Because like I said, they've already got the files. All they need to do is just send it to the printers and slap covers on them. There you go.
Like an example is Dixon Nightwing. I assume they don't have the files of that in oversized, hence why they went the compendium route. I'm just guessing, but yeah.
I think one of the reasons why we didn't get Superman by Byrne Omni is the exact same reason, and that's why we've got the 4 standard size hardcovers.
Yeah.
But what DC is trying to do is they've taken the 6 issue Man of Steel and they're coming out in absolute.
Yeah,
They
that's weird.
yeah.
But another example could be Nightfall. There's 3 omnis. They collect a lot. However, they're still missing stuff. They're still missing Sword of Azrael, which is now coming in a deluxe hardcover after they've just reprinted these 3 omnibuses. So I can definitely see some Nightfall compendiums coming out. But we'll see what happens.
Okay. So then, in conclusion, not including the full runs and the better reading order, what would you guys suggest to our audience in when it comes to making a decision between omnibuses or compendiums?
Just think about the cost and whether are you a reader or are you an admirer of the art. Do you want to just read the story and appreciate it and get as many books as you want? Go for the cheaper option. If you don't care about the money, you just want it in the biggest format, the nicest looking format, then go for the Omnibus. That's just how I see it.
And unfortunately, now things are getting a little bit more expensive than before. I guess the primary deciding factor would be your wallet. If you got deep pockets, you know, who's going to tell you how to spend your money? But like Byron said, if you're more of the story, make a decision that makes most sense. Whichever format that affords you to have more material. I mean, price aside, that's a win.
And you also have to remember these books are worth however much they are worth to you personally. So
All right, concluding thoughts in 20 seconds.
Comic Bookaroo, proud sponsors of Aussieverse for all your comic book needs. Graphic novels, hardcovers, omnibuses, single issues. Don't forget to pre-order every Sunday at Comic Bookaroo.
Okay, so I guess in conclusion, what we have worked out here at Aussieverse is if you're in Australia or anywhere overseas where the United States dollar equals a lot more than it does for you than the United States, then probably the best way to buy your collected editions is the cheaper option. However, if you do not need to worry about money and you do care about hardcovers, then obviously get the omnibuses. If you do care about no issue being left behind and you want to read it all, then get the compendiums. So ultimately, the choice is yours. This video has not solved anything, but we really do appreciate you watching, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Ladies and gentlemen, what is Aussieverse?
we are for life.
Life, baby.
Yeah, motherfucker.